All right, another impromptu. Okay. You know me, I do a bunch of those impromptu lives. So it's the 30th or 31st? 30th of December. Feliz año. So all yesterday and today I'm in the stores and people are saying Feliz año, Feliz año. Well, I used to tell people it's Feliz año nuevo, but it is Feliz año. They leave the nuevo out. Whew. Boy, oh boy. Maggie. I do these things to myself. Buenos dias. Buenos dias. It's your crazy sister, Maggie. So what is she up to now? Just walked in the door. I kind of wipe my face up a little bit. You know, we are in dry season now and it is hot. I told people, here in Panama, dry season is hot and hotter. Okay? But anyway, you see that I have my backpack. Ugh. I have been in these streets today. I was thinking, you know, there is a soup that we make on January 1st called soup jumu, and you need calabaza squash, and you need some beef bones, and then you need carrots and cabbage and turnips. I can't find turnips here. You can put some broccoli. I've got some broccoli, and then you finish it off with some pasta. Don't ask me how the calabaza and the pasta got together, but that's a soup that the slaves, you know, in Haiti when they got their independence on January 1st, 1804, and they celebrate with that soup. So if you're Haitian, it doesn't matter where in the world you are. You could be in Russia. You have to have that soup. Now, I said I wasn't going to do it. I told my daughter, I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to, because I don't want to have all this stuff hanging around the house. My conscience says, you cannot not have soup. So I'm sitting there thinking, okay, I don't want any, you know, because I'm not eating beef these days. But I was like, oxtail is the best type of meat to do that. So I woke up at about 7:15, which is a luxury for me. Usually I get up like at 4 and I can go back to sleep. And I said, oh, I got to rush to San Felipe and see if I can get an oxtail. Because I told you, oxtail here, you don't buy them in packs. You just go to the meat store and then you see the tail, the whole thing. And then they weigh it and that's it. That's one oxtail. Rabo, they call it rabo. So I get to San Felipe, which is the meat market, and you know, they always have plenty of chicken and then lots of pork these days. But in the back section where the beef is, very sparse. And I'm like, oh no. And I got there at 8 a.m. Usually I leave my house by 6:30. If you go into San Felipe to get any kind of meat, not chicken, you're good, except if you're looking for chicken wings. You don't get early, you don't get it, it's gone. And of course, for the holiday right now, people are buying in bags, in bulk, because they're having lots of family around. So they don't buy for one or two, they're buying for like 15, 20 people. And I'm walking and I'm like, oh no, I miss it. I'm not going to find a oxtail. And then I was getting to the end of the round, and then this young lady was talking to one of the guys, one of the sellers, and she says, oh, solamente me quedo un rabito. And I said, rabo? Rabito means a small tail. And I'm like, tiene rabo? She said, oh, señora, yo tengo solamente uno. I'm like, let's go. So I followed her to her little cubicle, and there's that lone little tail there. And I'm like, oh. And then she waited, and it was 5 something, a steal. So I'm like, me lo puedo picar, por favor. Picar means cut it. So she cut it. So I got the last oxtail. Want to do it? I'm telling you, God has been talking to me these days. You know, like I watch my YouTube channel, you know, I hardly get any subscribers. And then it's like, God says, don't worry about it, because towards the end, things are going to work out. And I'm like, okay. So I got to show you everything I got. you know, I ended up getting a bunch of things, but the rabo. And then, you know, I hadn't been to the store really to buy anything since Thanksgiving. So I've been living off of whatever was left, you know, the dal I made and all that. So, and then it's not a big oxtail, so it's gonna be just right. There it is. You see they cut it, and this is it, and it cost me $5. And you cannot say, I want, good morning, Sir Henry. You cannot say, I want this much. When you see the tail, you buy the whole tail. That's just the way it is. And then they weigh it for you. So this one is a small, un rabito. Rabito means a small tail. So for me, that's perfect. Now I finally found the sister that I was missing. I met her downstairs, and she's a chef. And she may not be in town, but she's in town. I'm gonna call her and say, do you wanna come and let's make soup? So this soup is traditional. Even my brother in New York City, he's married to a French woman, and she doesn't know how to make it. He learned how to make it himself. So now every time he makes it, he sends me a picture. It's like, sis, look. I'm like, oh, I'm so proud of you. So at San Felipe, I was, you know, because you have the meat section. Good morning. That would cost $12. Oh, I know. Oxtail is super expensive, but it's a small one. And you know, when you buy an oxtail in the States, you buy a pack like at Sam's, and in the round, the beef is about this big. You know, when you see it, you know, I know you think it's great that you have this meaty piece of oxtail, but think about it. How big is that cow to have a tail like that? Hormones. Smaller is better, okay? So that's why I don't mind this. And then I probably won't be eating anything like that for like a long time, because after Christmas and New Year, we don't have anything till like Carnival, and they don't really worry about food at Carnival. It's Christmas, New Year, yes. Let me tell you, the vegetable area was popping, and of course the meat section, lots of people were buying, they had bags and bags. They have like ribs, right? And I told you about the pierna de cerdo, where they do the whole leg, and then they cut it, and then not like the Cuban. They don't roast it, you know, like they roast a pig, not like that. They cook it in the oven in an horno. So I got that, and then I was like, oh, what else do I need for the soup? So I told you the soup, you need calabaza squash. So when I left San Felipe, I got half the calabaza. So, yes. So that is going to make the base of the soup, and it's going to give it that color, because it has to be that color. See, we're matching. See? Okay. So I was glad I got that. Then I said, oh, I need potatoes. And I was carrying a lot today. Now, I did push it a little bit. And then for the sisters who worry about me, say, I don't know how you carry all this stuff. Yeah, I did a little bit extra today. But, so I got a bag of small potatoes, $1. So you know you can do roast potato with these. You know, you put all the herbs and you put it in the oven. Perfect for like your chicken or anything else that you got. So that I need, and I bought some, this is what I couldn't remember the name, radishes. We have radishes, and you see the size of the radishes? Sometimes they're like 2-3 times this big. But radishes are like peppery, so they're good for that soup. The fact that I can't find the turnip, so I bought a little bit more. So I have radishes. I already have a cabbage in there. Then you need this type of parsley, Italian parsley. You need that to put in the soup, because that's part of it. Nice. She had like a big old bag, and I'm like, no quiero tanto. So she cut it, she gave me another one. And I got a little bag of cherry tomatoes. That's also $1, because I want to make marinara today, and I forgot to get regular tomatoes. Usually I use these for salad, but I'm going to use that for to make the marinara. Yes. Oh my gosh. But then when I finished getting everything, and I said, okay, I need macaroni. I need like spaghetti looking type of pasta. I need to get a thing of butter because even though I'm trying not to eat butter, but when I cook for people, I want to put a little bit on there, you know, to kind of give it that glistening glow at the end. I'm going to be making a cornbread dressing for a sister because I told her, she's like, yeah, please, thank you. So I'm going to be making that for her. And I'm going to be cooking some soup for another sister because I had gotten in New Jersey. Yeah, I understand you guys have a lot of things that are very super expensive. So I got my squash. That's the main ingredient, and the oxtail, right? Carrots you're gonna put that in there. Carrots, cabbage, the radishes. Since I don't have the turnips, and we have the parsley, potatoes. You do have some potatoes in there. But I will do this on January 1st, and I will do it live so you guys could see. And then when it's done, oh my God, it's so nice. And then usually they would eat it with some bread, but I bought some bread today, 1 loaf, because I need the bread to make the crunchy part for the dressing, because I don't use the box stuffing mix. You know me, you know I'm not gonna do that. So we have that. Look at that, beautiful. And this is $1.11, right? From Ray, that's my store, that's where I shop. And then I said, Felipe, I was like, I am craving that saril that I made. I don't know if you guys watch me make it, but this is $1 with the flour, Jamaican flour. They call it flor de Jamaica. And they give it to you, they sell it to you, and they give you a piece of ginger because ginger goes in there. The last one I made was so nice. Oh, I still didn't get the orange. But you take the pit out of the flour, right? You take this out, and then you boil the rest of the flour, and then you put cinnamon sticks in there. I put star anise, and then I put the ginger after it's boiled down. I don't cook the ginger early. And then I put some pimiento allspice. Oh, it was so nice. I was craving some more. Not for anybody else, just for me. So this is $1. The flour, and they give you the ginger. Hembre. Yes. So I'm a happy camper. Gonna make it for me, all for me. Then I got me a beautiful pineapple. This is $2. Things have gotten expensive, more expensive. And it could be the holiday too, right? And then I got a papaya. The papaya, I leave them out. That's $1.50. I let it ripen, right? So we got that. And you see all that I carried myself. And I took the metro. I did not take an Uber. I know. This is how they sell the broccoli. I think I got the broccoli, the ginger. So I have two crowns of broccoli because I like to put that in my soup towards the end. You know, you get the contrast of the orange and then the green. Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. I mean, it's healthy. Besides the, you know, the oxtail. It's not a bad soup. And then I said, I want some more ginger for me because I was running out. This is $1. All that ginger for $1. Mira. I put it in my water, I put it in my tea, I put it in, if I'm cooking chicken for anyone, I put it in my poultry. Ginger is something I always have. Now, curcuma, which is the, what is it again? Curcuma. Oh, it will come to me. I forgot the name in English now. Isn't that something? I remember it in Spanish. All right, so we got broccoli, and then I bought some peppers because I like the tricolor. So for the peppers, the ginger, the broccoli, peppers are usually expensive here. He told me $7 or something, so this is probably like $3. Yes, the peppers are usually expensive. And then after I got all that, I said, okay, I need to go to Ray, to the store, because I was in San Felipe. It's like, it's a cross between a farmer's market and a store, right? And then you have one side you have the meat, one side you have the veggies and the grains. We have a place like that in Orlando called Sheffield Farms, where we do the same thing. And then, you know, your veggies are organic, so we like to go there. Even though it's a little pricier than Merca Panama, but Merca Panama is becoming hard to get there because of the bus situation, so busy, and so I haven't gotten there. So I took the bus and I said, yeah, I get off close to Ray, 2 blocks, walk with the backpack and the bag to Ray. Put the stuff in storage, and then I took this bag with me. And then I found jalapeno. Whenever I have jalapeno, I buy it because I may not see it for a long time. And it can hold, it doesn't go bad really quick. So I got that. I got a block of that unsalted butter that I always get. This is New Zealand butter, and it's like almost like $8. So I think it's expensive in the States too, so it's not just here. And then I got some bananas, just because I'm craving some bananas. It's not something I eat all the time. Then I remember I showed you the little Malta that they drink here, Vigor. It's not bad. This is a truly Panamanian drink. It's not too sweet. It's got the raspadura, which is the brown sugar pack. It's really nice. I like it. So I don't usually buy it, but I bought it today. And these little drinks are my favorite. This is green, and then this is tropical fruit, and this is black tea. And then what I do, I'll just pour like half of that in my big bottle of water when I get a taste for something sweet. And let's see. How much sugar? 7-gram carbohydrate, sugar, 5 grams. So that's the only reason I drink it, because it's low in sugar. All right. So we got 3 of those. And then I have romero, I have rosemary, but I didn't have thyme. And which cook doesn't have thyme? So I had to get some. But this is $2. This is never cheap. Right? Got some onions. And this is what we're gonna put on to top the soup with. You know, you want some penne, not the elbow, penne pasta, and then some of the spaghetti. But sometimes I'll find the round one, but they're usually they cook really fast. So sometimes I prefer to do this, because if I put these in there almost at the end, when it's done, then they don't get overcooked. Because the little one tend to kind of disappear in the soup, and then they'll thicken it when you don't want that. So this is what I like. Yes. So I wanted to get some milk to make the cornbread, and I'm like, you don't have anything smaller? He said these. Because, you know, I got to make the cornbread and then make the dressing for the sister. Got that, another Vigor. And then garbanzo bean for chickpeas. Sometimes I cannot find it. So when I find it, I buy more than one. So all this, your sister carried from the store to home. But I'm here, I made it to talk about it. Oh my gosh. Not everybody, lots of people are wearing masks here in Panama, because the flu is here, and a lot of people are sick. So I didn't wear my mask because the metro was not that crowded, but I should have, but that's what's happening here in Panama. So today is Tuesday. I'm gonna rest a bit. When I say rest, when I'm on the computer, to me is rest because, so much to do on the computer. Then tomorrow I have class. I do have an event that this sister is dragging me to. I don't do event that much, but she's like, I got your name on it. You better come. I'm gonna pick you up with an Uber. So we're gonna do that, but it's about midday, and tomorrow night I don't go anywhere. So I probably, if they have like a fireworks show, I'll record that, and then Thursday is the day I make the soup. So what I'm gonna do tomorrow night, I'm gonna season the oxtail overnight. I'm gonna cook it because it takes a good hour and a half for the oxtail to really cook down. And then I'll start the live when I'm getting the soup together, which might take an hour or so. And I wanna do that like after lunch, like around 1 or 12, because I don't like to do it too early. But let me tell you, my memory of this soup as a child, you go to church with your parents like around 10ish or 11. When midnight rolls, everybody was on their knees, praying in church. And then when it said boom, midnight, and we start singing hallelujah, whatever, because you want to welcome the new year. And then, you're thanking God when you were praying for the things that you went through and that He brought you through, and you're still here, which is something I still do. I go down and say, January, February, and I keep count of everything that I've gone through and that I've overcome. And then I'm usually, saying, thank you, God, Happy New Year. And then you start sending Happy New Year wishes to your family and your friends. And then, the ball drops. Sometimes I watch it from NYU, but, from like 9 or 10, you start seeing New Year around the world. They come earlier than us. So, and usually from my memory, after we get out of church, after midnight, 12:30, then there's usually hot chocolate, there's hot tea, fresh bread, and sometimes somebody had made soup earlier, some of the ladies, and they're serving a little bit of soup. So that's how you bring in the new year. You have to have pumpkin soup. And on that day, that's all that you eat. So a lot of bread, fresh bread. My dad was a baker. A lot of bread, and then when you get home, like around 1, 2 o'clock, after you've gotten together with the friends in the church, then sometime we start our own soup, like around 4ish, 4 o'clock. So sometimes they'll sleep for a couple of hours and then they wake up at 4 or 5, because by 7 or 8 a.m., the soup is done. And let me tell you, I'm talking a bomb, we call it, a big dish this big of soup. And everybody in the neighborhood comes and everybody is drinking soup, eating soup. How do you say, drink soup or eat soup? Lots of laughter, but in addition to the soup tradition, we make something like, in is it Puerto Rico or DR? They make coquito, right? It's something like this. Here it's called rum punche, which is a rum punch. This one has coffee, but it always has some kind of alcohol. So in my part of the world, we make what we call cremas. Cremas is a coconut base, fresh coconut base with condensed milk and all the aromatics and cinnamon and nutmeg, and you grate. I've never made it because the sugar content is just too much for me. I have a friend, or I had a friend in Orlando, and she started making it and she got good at it. And then you always put it in bottles, and people are selling this thing. It's like goes for hotcakes. But the alcohol we used to put in there, we used to put rum barbancourt, which is a special rum that they make in Haiti from sugarcane. So that's one. And they always had little cakes, right? Oh, Vigor is good. Yes, I like it. Well, I don't buy it a lot. This is probably the second time I bought it. Oh, did I open 2 bottles? This is only the second time. I like it because it's got the brown sugar in it. It's not white sugar, and it's not too sweet, which is rare because everything in Panama is sweet. So in addition to this, a version of it, we make some kind of liqueur. A liqueur, if I recall, it had a reddish tone to it, and it had the alcohol and lots of sugar and spices. And when they give it to you, they had these little teeny shot glasses because you cannot tolerate too much of it. And then we had cakes, and they would cut the cake, not fruit cake like the Jamaicans do. I don't remember fruit cake, but here in Panama they have the bun cake. The bun cake they use more so much around Easter, but they have the fruit cake. I don't really care for it, but that's what they make. Isn't there another cake that they make in Jamaica? Is it like a brown or dark kind of cake? Anyway, I'm not a cake person. But when I was growing up, we the children, we absolutely love January 1st. We are celebrating Independence Day. You know, the independence that Haiti got, that got it banned, and you know, everything that's happened to us has been because we dared to be the first to claim independence. You all know that. If you don't know, it's a little history that, you know, France made us pay for it, and we're still paying for it. Okay. So, but when I was growing up, I had such good memories of my childhood. Even under a dictatorship, I had great memories of my childhood. And so we would dress up. You got gifts on Christmas Day, but then you got a new outfit, just like Easter. So you wear your little outfit, and then you have to go visit all the relatives, you know, all the aunties, the grandmas. And everywhere you went, they gave you a little bit of that shot glass with the liqueur. We call it liqueur, and a piece of cake. So by the time afternoon rolls, and then you drinking soup because there is no other meal. They don't cook anything else. It's just soup. That's why they make it in a big bowl. By the time the afternoon rolls, you were drunk as a child, seriously, because you have had so much of this. You had so much sugar and alcohol. I remember that, and we looked so forward to it. By the time it was 6 or 7 o'clock, we were out. We were out, you know, I mean, sleeping, snoring, drunk, happily drunk. But we're not going to do that. So I have the rum punch. A friend gave it to me, so I tasted it. It's not bad. It's really sweet. So I'm just making sarid. I'll just make my chicha de sarid, and then I'll be a happy camper. So, gotta put my stuff away, and I'm gonna chill and wait for tomorrow. And the next time I see you guys, it's gonna be on January 1st. I wish you all the best. I hope 2025 was a bang-up year for you. I mean, for me, it wasn't anything special, but I'm still here talking, breathing. Therefore, I am grateful. I don't know what 2026 is going to bring. Nobody does. But what we need to do is to just get welcoming it with faith and determination and thanksgiving, because we're still here. And I posted something on the Facebook page yesterday, and I said, we've overcome a lot. We've cried about some things. We've laughed about so much. You know, a couple of sisters in our group lost family members. One lost someone on Christmas Day. Life be lifing with loss and hurt and the things that happen to us and where we come from, the heart-wrenching anxiety and sadness. A lot's happened to us collectively, but we're still here. So we have to make the best of it. We have to open our hearts and just welcome whatever this crazy world throws at us and just remain planted and committed and strong. And I tell folks, someone's going to take you out, but let them take you out standing, right? Let them take you out standing because, life is fleeting. We don't know what's around the corner, plane crashes, car accidents, you name it, disasters. We have no control over those, right? What we can control, and I always say, is to guard your heart. When you take that time, you open your eyes in the morning and you say, oh, thank you, God. I'm here, I'm breathing. You get up, I'm able to move. My limbs are moving, my mind is right. Grateful, because you don't know how long that's going to last, especially in my age group, right? Heart attacks, strokes, these things just happen and wipe you out just like that. And I'm asking God to take me out like that, because the thought of suffering and dragging somewhere, and I just don't know. I don't want that. And I pray that something catastrophic quick happens that, I think we all would want to go that way. But some people want to hang on to life, I don't have my hand on anything like that. If it happens, it's like, let it go. That's the way I look at it. But I know that's the way I look at things. And I don't expect everybody to think about it the same way I do. I think having reached 67 years old, I think I've lived longer than a lot of people. And all I can say is thank you. And hope that I made a difference in someone's life. We don't have to be worldwide leader or whatever. You know what they say, bloom where you planted. And one of my saying is, be the best human you can. If you can lend a hand to somebody, do it. And the best way, the cheapest way, is to just bless someone with your words. It's like, oh sis, I got you. How are you doing? Touch people. Show that you care. And mean it. Because, some people may say something and they don't mean it. Don't do that, right? And you don't have to be a hero. No. Just do what you can to help someone. And that's all. That is all. And I remember my daughter would say, Mom, you like to give so much. And I'm like, well, I learned it from my mom. My mom was a single mom for as long as I can remember. She divorced my dad. I was 4. My sister was maybe 1. And she had another child later on from another relationship, my brother. But she was always a very independent person. And I got that from her. She was a businesswoman. I got that from her. Because listen, a lot of things that you do in life, there's a genetic predisposition, business mindset. This is something, when I was opening my first business, I took like an assessment. And it said that scientifically, they noticed that entrepreneurship is something that is passed down, that some people tend to have the gene. That doesn't mean if you are an entrepreneur, or your kids are going to be entrepreneur. No, you may have one of them or none, right? But there is a genetic predisposition with a lot of things in life. And my mother always was a businesswoman. She had multiple businesses, and she was able to retire in her 50s and live comfortably. She owned homes. So I have her as a role model. But of course, now that I'm older, there were some things I wish Mama would have spent more time, in terms of us, relationship. But she didn't know any better, because she did not have that when she was growing up. So I have to go back as an adult and say, well, she did the best she could with what she had, with what she knew. And then I need to improve on that. So when I was growing up, on Sundays, my house was like a restaurant. My mom never cooked for us. She cooked for the community. So after church, my house, people would be in and out, in and out, in and out. And everybody who came had a meal, had a plate. Hola, estoy bien, gracias. So the idea of cooking and feeding people is something that was modeled for me, right? So I try to pass that on to my daughter, and I'm like, you may not have money to give someone, but if I cook something for you, I'm showing love to you because I took the time to cook something for you, and hope you appreciate it. And if you don't, I just kind of keep it moving. I do the Kim, right? So these kind of things we want to invest in people, not because we have money, but they know that, if you have a problem, if I can help you, I will. I will come and do a meal for you. I will come maybe tidy up the house. Something real simple. And people remember those kind of things. That's what I mean by being a human, because that is something that we are losing in some circles, because everything is all about you. It's all about me. It's all about us, our little group, our little family. Well, how has that worked for us? Being an island is not a good thing, and it's not helpful in this day and age. We need to get back to creating community, and that's what we're trying to do here at SWRA. And it comes with its challenges because some people cannot see that vision. They come here from over there with the same mentality. It's all about me, the way I move around, the way I show up with this and that. And I'm like, me, right now, my other word is like, I don't have time for this. I don't have time because we don't know how much time we have left. When people come here with the same mentality, I keep it moving and I keep it on the side. I just do not. And I'm not even going to engage or try and insist, I don't have time. Because if you come here, you're as old as I am, you should know better. You should know better. And if you don't, no offense, I'm not angry, I'm not upset, I just keep it moving. I don't have time. I really don't. So let's keep doing that. Try not to be focused on ourselves alone. Because when somebody moves to a different country, and I see sisters come here and they're just like a little butterfly. They go from this group, that group, this group, that group, this group, that group. But how intimate are those relationships? Is that somebody, if you were in a bind, you could call that person and you know that person is going to come and help you out. You need to spend time nurturing those relationships. It's not how many friends you have, it's how many deep relationships you have. Because when you are away, and there's an element of shame in these communities here, the expat communities. When people are struggling with something, whether it's financially or health-wise, that things that we've learned over time, that is just, how we isolate it over there, that you're in your house, you could be dead for days, nobody knows, nobody hears from you, nobody's gonna knock on your door, and you self-isolate. Sometimes people are so mean-spirited and so ugly with other people that nobody wants to be around you. So sometimes when you see someone struggling, like I used to have my patients, and I said, can I call someone for you? I don't have anybody. Really? Where do you live? You have a neighbor I can call? No, I don't talk to them. I was like, what the hell? Talk to people. Communicate. Another thing too, I tell sisters, if you have a need, you have got to reach out. I'm doing a lot of different things. We're not going to butterfly going around, not because I'm in different groups, but because I have multiple things I'm doing. But if you have a need, you need to say, sis, I need this. And if I can, I will help. And if I can't, I'll call somebody. I'm like, I'm out. I can't reach so-and-so. Can you please go check on her? This is what community does. And we are not interested in having a large group to say, oh, I'm part of SWRA, whatever. This is the thing. I'm trying to get the sisters to understand that being part of SWRA is not saying, well, I'm part of that group. We're going to lunch here, we're going to lunch there. Well, we do, but it has to be deeper than that. It can't be superficial because people are struggling in silence and then they disappear. You never hear from them. You don't know what was going on. Was it a health situation or was it a financial situation? Some sisters end up going back because they didn't do that homework I tell them to do. Look at your money and see, can I make it work? And when you come here, sometimes you get caught up in that group that's doing this, doing that, going here, going there, or they live in that building where I had to go. You don't do that. You old. You got to mind your money. Stay on budget. But do the work. before you get here, because sometimes when you get here and then there's that shame, the element of shame, oh, I don't want anybody to know that I'm not making it, and then they go home and they never come back. And I can see we're going to have more casualties of that, because I see so many people coming here, and I know scientifically you're going to have some people who have not done the work to say, does this make sense? Yeah, they have so many. She said she's 67. Can you suggest a Panama relocation tour group? Well, you know, Charlotte Van Horn does a relocation tour. She takes you around the country, but she does have a focus on Afro culture here in Panama. You know, it costs money though, right? I think 3,000 plus. And then there is, I know Big Will, who is a brother here. He does relocation tours. I have no information about cost, how much it costs, okay? But those are people who can do relocation tour. There's another lady out of Boquete, if you're interested in that area. She does go around the country as well. She was one of the first Panama Relocation tour. And she does a tour, and some sisters have gone on her tour. And they've gotten the information. It is a good way to get a lot of information at one time instead of finding out for yourself. That's the benefit of the relocation tours. I did not do a relocation tour. I started looking at Jackie's group, Buenos Dias, Mala, and there was something in the language of whatever I was supposed to sign that I wasn't comfortable with, so I didn't do it. And I'm glad I didn't do it, because I think I did fine without the relocation tour. So there are pros and cons. If you somebody, you know, you want to get a lot of information right away, because I made 3 trips before I came on the 4th and stayed. So, you know, that's the benefit, not benefit, you know, they're different. If you're someone who can find information and you're not worried, if you don't have something in front of you right away, but you can reach out and get it, you may not need one. But if you want something that is curated and then it's concentrated, where they take you, you know, all over the country and give you a lot of information, they have a lot of people come talk to you, doctors, attorneys, and all kinds of folks, real estate. Yes, those tours are good. All right. I think anybody who wants to come to Panama should visit, but you do have some people who have come here sight unseen. There's a lady on YouTube now, but you know, she's in her 50s. She got laid off or downsized, and then she says she's doing fine. But you know, she was an investor, so she's got multiple streams of income. So that is helpful. I have another sister who came here. She thought she would like Panama, and she doesn't. And she's leaving. It's like, that's good. And that's why you need to come, look around, smell, touch, and you're like, this is not for me. That's good, sis. And that's what the scouting trips do for you. And not everybody who goes on a relocation tour comes and stays. Not everybody, of course. It's never 100%. All right? But you owe it to yourself to do lots and lots and lots of research. In the last video I did yesterday, I posted it, I talked about how I chose Panama. And I always tell people, Panama chose me, because I had a spiritual experience when I came one year, and the feeling that came over me and the connection that we made. And I went and visited the place and came back. So I'm a spiritual person, and that was important to me. I need to see how I feel, not just look at it, yes, that's great. But visiting a place and living in place, totally different. And that Spanish language thing is a real thing that you ladies or whoever needs to really understand. That yes, some people may speak broken English here, but are you going to spend the rest of your life depending on Google Translate? I don't know. I'm a little bit of an impatient person. I don't think I could. But I think that's something to look at. There's a sister who said she was gung-ho on Belize, because she said, first of all, they use the US dollar. big plus, and they spoke English. So you may want to go a place, you know, that speak the language that you want. So what's most important to you? How open are you to learning a language? You know, I like it when I go to the store and I'm talking to the locals. Like I was looking for the turnips. I forgot what they said in Spanish, so I took a picture and I showed it to her, and she's like, "No, we don't do that." And I know what rabo was, you know. And then you can learn, but it's going to be slow. But if you're open to learning, then you could make it and get you to the culture, the mañana. I took a ride in one of our communities here, and the trash. Well, I don't live in that community, right? So we know anybody who comes to Panama, depending on where you visit, you know, you see trash, and some people go in like, "Oh my God, the business is dirty, blah, blah, blah." Come on. We have trash where you come from too. You're just not living in those communities, right? And, you know, they're talking about the challenge that they have. It has to do with people hired to pick it up and all kind of things. Life be lifing, sis. So leave all those little expectations back there. And then you're older, we should be wiser and more relaxed and not expect everything to be curated and served to us on a platter to our specification the way we want it. Go to a restaurant, they don't come and bring you your water or you up in the bar. And I hear people talk about that. People talking to the waiters, expats, you know, just being rude. "Oh, the hamburger wasn't cooked right, blah, blah, blah." There's a way to say, "This is not right. Can you please go take it back and come and bring it?" Because, you know, when you turn your food back and then you're not kind, you don't know what they're doing to your food back there. Did you see that program where they're spitting your food in back? It pays to be kind to people, okay? Just be nice. Be a good human, my God. Treat the locals with respect, appreciation. They allow you to come to their country. I don't care if they're peddling in the street. You need to show respect because you're a foreigner. We forget that. Being an American is no longer something to be proud of. You better keep a low profile. Because everything that's happening in the world right now, we're not seeing in a good light. So chill, keep it low. Can you suggest a good Airbnb in a safe neighborhood for a 60+ lady? Oh, yes. Torres de Alba is a hotbed of lots of expats. They treat them really nice. Some sisters, they have, I think I wash my hands. You know, I have to be careful when I'm in the street so I don't rub my nose. I'm forever thinking about that because after you touch balustrades and handrails and stuff and you do this, and how you get sick. So I'm like, "Oh, yeah, I wash my hands." First thing I do when I come in is like wash my hands. Oh, because I'm in the streets, I'm touching all kinds of things. So Torres de Alba, I don't know if I can type it in here. Torres de Alba is good. Torre, Torre de Alba. And then there is the Sands is on my street here on Balboa. You know, they're like little studio type of apartment, but safe area. Torres is safe. Well, you know, we have other ones, but they could be a little bit on the pricey side. The YOO is a very safe area, very popular. Vista del Mar is another one. So if you send me, if you don't catch it here, send me a message and I will send it to you. You should show respect no matter where you are or where you're from. Yes, ma'am. You get what you give. I never had a problem in another country. Of course. But you know, you and I know, you've seen those people in the restaurants, how they talk to people, right? We're not all like that. People walk around and start throwing their weight around, think everybody needs to cater to them. And I'm like, or they walk into a place and they start speaking loud. It's like, tone it down. Tone it down. Times are changing, people. Times are changing, have changed. When you're traveling around the world now, you better keep a low profile. because we don't know whose mind's being cracked. We're watching all this stuff happening on TV. Yep. So, but anyway, I just wanted to give you like a little pep talk about what we've been through, and we don't know what next year's gonna bring. Only God knows. Every day we wait with bated breath to see what else is gonna show up, right? Because we don't know. But we have to guard our heart, and we have to manage our emotions so we can keep ourselves sane and not give in to the depression and the anxiety, because it will affect your health eventually. That's why I do multiple things to keep my mind busy, right? It's not over busyness. Those are things that I enjoy doing, creating, being, with SWRA, thinking ahead. Because doesn't matter what's happening, life goes on, right? You should still make plans. You should still have goals. And I tell people, if I die striving for something that I wanted to do, it's a good death. But if I'm sitting there saying, oh, woe is me, look what they've done to us, they've been doing to us for centuries, sis. One sister said, oh, we've never had it this bad. And I'm like, really? Really? No, it's been worse. So you got to take everything with a grain of salt. You got to be pragmatic and say, this too shall pass. How can I strive? How can I grow in the midst of this? And the other thing I said to myself is that don't hang on to your life too tight. You have no control over it. Relax. Relax. Whatever will be, will be. He's in charge. You're not. What you can do, you do. And for me, what I do is to be a blessing to someone. Entertain, cook for someone, speak positivity into someone. Oh, sis, you're looking beautiful today. Oh, you did good. We human beings, we like that little thumbs up. We need it. But not all the time. I used to know somebody who every single thing he did, he needed somebody to say, oh, good job, good job. That's exhausting. That's exhausting. But to do that, call someone out of the blue and say, I was thinking about you. How you doing, sis? I miss you. Do you know that could take somebody from the brink of despair and bring him back? Do you know that? Just to say, I'm thinking about you. How you doing? Let's have a chat. What's going on in your life? What kills people is the isolation and the knowledge, the feeling that no one cares, that they're all alone in this big old beautiful world. Sometimes I reach out to people I haven't talked to in years, people I work with. It's like, hey, what's up? How you doing? That human connection sometimes is the only thing that keeps somebody to fall off into the despair hole. Yeah. A lot of times people commit suicide. And, in this time of the year, I did a video about the blues for the holidays. People didn't seem to get it. But some people struggle this time of year for some reason. And when you study it, they say it has to do with the shift and the sun and the dreariness and all kinds of things. Yeah. But whatever it is, human connection can take you off the brink of despair. And sometimes someone gives up and does something to themselves, and then I always see the comments, oh yes, call this 888 number, and if somebody had gotten to them sooner. How do you know that? Sometimes you can't save people. But you should still try, because you don't know who you might save. So your word can help someone. So never say, oh, yeah, you don't need to hear from me. No, because then you live with regret, right? Try not to live with regret. I have some regrets, things that I've said and done, yeah. But I try not to replicate it or continue on the same path. That's growth. That's wisdom living. Oh my God, I'm running my mouth today. Uplift each other, sis. Yes. You're going to do that today. Call a few people. Yes. Say, how you doing? When I was younger, My mom sent me over to the US by myself as an 18-year-old. I don't recommend it. Don't do that. Because that made me grow and, of course, kind of exposed me to some things that maybe an 18-year-old should be exposed to. I had this woman accuse me of cheating with her husband. I was like 19, and I'm like, seriously, lady? And I was a green 19, not these 19-year-old going on 50. But it was important for me to, to be in that situation and kind of learn from the situation, and it kind of made me into the person, that I am today. So we can't ever give up on people. So this girl, I think we were living in the same house. That was the family I was staying with. And she had her little high school sweetheart, and they were in love, really nice girl. But that was like in the early 80s, when HIV/AIDS was just coming on and nobody knew what it was. And the young man, her husband, had gotten a blood transfusion. I think it was an accident or something. He developed HIV/AIDS. And I remember watching that young man disintegrate into a shell of the person that he was. Well, he was married, so I don't know if she caught it. She must have, because one day they had a child, one daughter. They found her drowned in the bathtub. And someone said the day before they found her, she called everybody around her that she could to say, hey, I love you, I don't know. She planned it. She planned it. Because when the husband died, she kind of lost it. She lost the will to live, even though she had a child. They were just so in love. And she called everybody. So afterwards, we all were like, oh, that's what she was doing. Okay? So sometimes people are calling around. I'm not saying the person who says she's going to call people, I'm not saying that's what you're doing. But sometimes people do that. It's like settling the score, saying goodbye. And guess who found her? Her little daughter found her. Oh. Woo, that was a hard one. That was really hard. So, when you are thinking that your life is so bad, think about somebody else. There's a little girl in England, the UK, who's been battling cancer for years now. And every time she talks about, hello, my Tiffany Thanks family, and I'm like, that little girl is so strong. She's like maybe high 20s, maybe early 30s, and she got her little boyfriend supportive, her mother supportive, but she's fighting. And every so often she'll come on, she's like, I'm just so tired of fighting. And I'm like, why are you letting her suffer like that? I ask those questions because sometimes it's just not fair to watch like a 32-year-old mom, healthy, vegan, 2 young babies, develop like out of the blue, a lung cancer diagnosis. And I remember this one, I stopped watching those because they were like starting to mess with my mind. And I'm like, I need to stop. Because she went through all these testing and the chemo and radiation and enrolled in studies after studies. And then one day she came on, she's like, I'm dying. Because the doctors were like, we've tried everything. There's nothing else we can do. She was so distraught. And people bring all this stuff on social media. I don't know how people taking their last breath, their families videotaping. I don't understand all that. Why do you need to put it out there for everybody to see? No, if I'm dying, I'm not going to be recording it. I can tell you that. And my daughter better not do that. Some things should be kept private, I believe, right? But I'm just saying that when you think you're really, really having it, you're going through it, I always say, think about something else. Then you get perspective that it could be worse. It could be worse. And somebody somewhere have it much worse than you. And that should give you pause and make you hang on. And when you're hanging on, it's not like you think I'm going to be strong for the next day, the next month. You're just hanging on for the moment. You just need that grace for the moment. Don't think about next week, next month. today, right now. All right? So if you do that, that's going to keep you going one foot in front of the other, one foot in front of the other. You make the best decision that you can, not always thinking about you, but because there's something called legacy. Have you thought about that? What kind of legacy you're leaving for your children? Are your grandchildren going to talk about you and be proud of the person you are today? So sometimes you don't make a decision because this is what's good for me, but what are you leaving behind? That's important. To me, that's important. All right? I don't want my daughter to ever be ashamed, or my kids to say, oh, my mom was this B-H-I-T-H. People calling their parents love. Because there's a word in the Bible that God blesses so many generations, but he also curses so many generations. So sometimes, this is something I want to leave you with before I leave, because this is something I believe so strongly. When I tell you about being the best human you can be, you know if you're a good person or not. Some people are not nice. Okay? Let's not sugarcoat it. Some people are just pure evil. All right? Sometimes they're not pure evil, but they're just disagreeable. Like a couple of ladies, they kind of got through with me a couple of times. And the first time I let it go, second time I let it go, third time it's like, no. So I move you away from my circle. You're not going to be in my sphere and just spew all that negativity. You don't need to talk to me in a rude way. Whatever your problem is, take care of it. Don't come at me with it. No, ma'am. No, sir. Okay? I'm not your punching bag. Go fix yourself. Whatever your issue is, go work it out. But I always tell people, this is something, I've kind of grown in my last 10, 15 years, and I'm still growing. I tell people, be careful how you deal with God's people. If someone has not done anything to hurt you, don't go out of your way to be mean to them, to badmouth them, to do anything negative, because it will come back to you. Don't mess with God's anointed. Okay? We are all God's creation. If I haven't done anything to you, I've been kind to you, but you go out of your way to go behind and, just stirring the pot and doing the thing. And then I said, when things are happening in your life or not happening in your life, go back and look. Take inventory. Who have I been speaking about, talking about without reason? Now, if somebody, I'm not a one person to say tit for tat, because God says, vengeance is mine. So if you go out of your way to do something to me, and I'm like, okay, sis, go ahead. Because God allowed you to do it, go ahead. Don't think I'm going to retaliate. I don't have it in me to go give it back to you. Nah, that's too much effort. It's a waste of oxygen. But when you are constantly belittling or being mean to or talking about somebody who's done nothing to you, take inventory where things are happening in your life. And it's not sometimes just you, your generations. That's why you have to think when you act. It's not just about you. It's those you left behind, your kids, your grandkids. Be careful. Be a good human. Even if it doesn't look like it's the right thing to do. Oh, the weak don't win, blah, blah, blah. I don't believe in any of that. I don't. That's why I live my life peacefully. I was talking in the video, people saying, oh, they were blacklisted or whatever. I stay in my lane. I don't talk about people. I don't get into your business. That way, I'm always the last one to know. I remember even before, they're like, Maggie, where have you been? I'm like, minding my own business. How come you don't know that? No, because I'm not in the know. And it's a good place to be. I don't need to know what's going on. If it doesn't affect me, I don't need to know. Okay? Especially people's business. Now, something legal, I'll post it for you to know what's happening. But people, what's happening to this one? But that's what sells. Drama, gossip. People always want to know, oh, what's happening? What did she do? Where did she go? Busy bodies. And that's why a lot of time I don't go to events, because when you go and I'm sitting there thinking, what a waste of time. I could be doing this on my computer. I could be doing that. It's just chit-chatting, saying nothing. I'm not interested in that. I go to the beach, I'm sitting here watching the wave, that's one thing. But going to certain circle and it's just chit-chatting, looking, and I'm not. That doesn't excite me. I got too many things I could be doing that feed my soul. I could be cooking, right? All right, guys. So, oh my goodness. So I'm gonna let you go. I hope you have the next today and tomorrow, the last 2 days of 2025. Be good, be safe. Don't go drink and drive, do any of that stuff, you know, that I wouldn't do. If you're gonna drink, stay home and enjoy yourself, okay? But be a good person and determine if there are some things you can change in 2026. You know, I'm not talking about resolution or whatever. We're just not in that anymore, but just on a day-to-day today, what can we do to make ourselves the best person that we can be so we can serve others and be a blessing to others? Because there is more joy in doing that than concentrate on yourself. That's boring, right? You going to do that today? Yes, good. All right, ladies and gents, this turned into a longer live than I thought, but yes, respect for the local. Airbnb, I answered that. Relocation tours, yes. Oh, I didn't know about the melter. Yeah, well, if I open a melter, it's gonna be gone in the same day. All right, ladies, so I'm gonna put my stuff away and chill. You have a good day. God bless you. I love you. Bye.